Let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin mista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo Katipunan, Radyo Katipunan, Radyo Katipunan, kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayod, tunong at tulong. Lipad ka Blue Eagle, galing giting at tigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo Katipunan, Radyo Katipunan, Katipunan.
Rejoice, refresh, renew, and reflect. Join us for an hour of music that uplifts the soul. Listen to your favorite Jesuit music ministry artists. This is JMM Radio. JMM Radio. Get your day's dose of inspirational music. Tune in to JMM Radio every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Sikat ng umaga, buhos ng ulan, simoy ng dapit-hapon, sinag ng buwan, batis na malinaw, dagat na pukaw, kayo ng Panginoon kong Jesus ng aking buhay. Saan man ako bumaling, ika'y naroon, tumalikod man sa'yo. Dakilang pag-ibig mo sa akin, tatawag at magpapalalang. Ako'y iyong kinikiliw at siyang itatapat sa puso. Tinig ng kaibigan bisig ng dukha, ilaw ng may takot, ginhawa ng aba. Gayon ang Panginoon kong Jesus ng aking buhay. Saan man ako bumalik, ika'y naroon, tumalikod man sa'yo. Dakilang pag-ibig mo sa akin, tatawag at magpapaalala. Ako'y iyong hihigin at siyang itatapat sa puso. Saan man ako bumalik, ika'y naroon, tumalikod man sa'yo. Dakilang pag-ibig mo sa akin, tatawag at magpapaalala. Ako'y iyong hinigiliw at siyang itatapat sa puso. At siyang itatapat sa puso.
Na-live po tayo ngayon sa JMM Radio, the radio program of the Jesuit Music Ministry. Ako po si Lester Mendiola.
And of course, yes, join us for another hour of music and talk that uplifts the soul. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. And of course, welcome to another exciting episode of your JMM Radio. Only here on radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM, the voice of the Blue Eagle. Of course, napapanood po tayo ngayon, live na live. Yes, Lester? Go
Just
ahead.
hindi ba naka-on yung monitor natin? Para tayong may echo. Parang gumagano.
Oo nga, hindi ko masyadong napapansin kasi ako speaker. Pero baka siguro dahil sa akin. Ewan ko lang, not sure. But anyway, ayan. So napapanood po tayo live na live sa ating live streaming. If you're of course tuned in to our social media handles on Facebook at Radyo Katipunan, Jesuit Communications at Ateneo de Manila University, at ating mga Jesuit Music Ministry fan pages. Ayan. At we're also simulcast on YouTube and on Twitter. Ayan. Ano lang siguro kasi baka napansin nila yung advisory natin nitong nakaraang araw na pansamantala po munang wala tayong FM transmission or broadcast dahil nga meron pong isinasagawang repair and maintenance ng ating transmitters. Kaya po hindi po tayo mapapakinggan ngayon sa FM. But we are of course loud and clear on your online radio as well. jescom.ph. Ayan, I think we're having some tech issues with Lester's audio for some reason. But anyway, ayan. Sana po ay you're doing well wherever you're at. Syempre dahil ngayon po ay it's almost half of the week. It's of course it's the 13th of July 2022, no? And sabi nga natin, no, medyo mabilis ang mga araw dahil nakalipas na naman, no, ang halos 6 na buwan nitong mga nakaraang araw. Malamang no, sa mga susunod hindi na natin alam, baka maya-maya lang, no, pagising natin ano na, Pasko na, 'di ba? So it's another year for us. Ayan. O kapatid, okay ka na ba?
May ekong malala. Parang galing sa ilalim ng drum, ganon.
Talaga ba? Nako.
Oh.
Not sure where it's coming from, but hopefully it goes away. Ano lang natin 'yan. Pero sige, let's try to baka siguro yung ating tech ay pwedeng i-check yung nangyayari ngayon. But anyway, kamusta ka naman? Narinig ko naman ako ng mabuti ngayon.
Parang may konsensya ka dyan. Anyway, okay naman. Okay naman, busy, Justin. And ang dami nagkakasakit ngayon because of the weather. I think it's very unpredictable, I would say. Parang may sumpong yung weather. Ulan ng umaga, tapos sa hapon, sa tanghali, napakainit, tapos uulan na naman, di ba? Parang araw-araw ganun.
Mm-mm.
So, mag-ingat po tayo. Let's make sure to take our vitamins and eat healthy and get a lot of rest dahil yung panahon ngayon ay talagang unpredictable, di ba? Ang daming nagkakasakit, no? And in connection to the mga nagkakasakit, tumataas ang cases ng COVID ngayon. So, uulitin po namin ang aming advisory sa inyo na kung hindi pa po kayo nagpapabakuna, magpabakuna po kayo. Kung hindi pa po kayo nagpapa-booster shot, go to your LGU, get a schedule, and get yourself a shot para kayo ay protektado, di ba?
Correct. Yeah, tama yan. At ayun na nga, no, from a musical program, pupunta muna po kami sa public service.
Huwag natin kalimutang ipakilala yung ating guest co-host ngayong gabi.
Ayun nga pala, nako. Sige. Pakilala mo na yan, Les, kung sino ba mga kasama natin.
Yes, our guest co-host is an Atenean, and nag-i-intern siya sa atin ngayon sa Jesuit Music Ministry. And friends, welcome po natin si Marge Mangiat. Hi, Marge!
Hello, Marge!
Hello, good evening po sa inyong lahat and sa lahat po ng viewers and listeners ng Radyo Katipunan.
Si Marge walang echo, si Justin lang yun.
Meron pa rin? Meron pa rin ba talaga? Oh no. So ako talaga may problema. Okay, sige, fine. Let me check first my audio. At least meron tayong co-host ngayon. So, pwede niya akong saluhin muna pansamantala.
Yes, I got you, Sir Justin.
Okay, sige. Go ahead. I'll check first my audio. Sige, let's see. Okay, sige.
Kamusta naman po kayo? How's your week so far?
Ako ba?
Yes.
Okay naman. Busy kasi we're preparing for you're an Atenean, so you know that July we usually have a lot of activities because we are a Jesuit institution. So madaming activities na nagaganap kapag July because it's the Ignatian month. So yon, abala doon. Dahil maraming pinaproduce. So okay naman, aside from the bago-bagong weather. How about you, Marge? It's you're about to end your internship.
Actually, ako naman po, with regards to school na po muna, actually, before coming here sa Radyo Katipunan, galing na po ako sa school. And diretso po ako dito, sabi ko, it's actually a great opportunity then to co-host with you guys through this Radyo Katipunan. And actually excited nga rin po ako na ma-meet yung guest speaker natin today. And hopefully makabalik si Sir Justin para ma-introduce na rin natin yung guest speaker natin. And with regards to with my internship with Jescom, honestly, sobrang saya ng experience ko na I also met new people as well. And hopefully for those people who are looking for an internship, malay nyo, baka gusto nyo rin i-try out na mag-intern sa Jescom.
Ayan, yes. We're glad that we're able to share a glimpse of how it is to work for a Catholic media institution. Sa ating mga estudyante. So, we have a couple of interns actually in different departments. We have sa production, we have sa JMM, and then radyo-katipunan. No? So, we welcome interns. Of course, there are qualifiers. There's an interview and screening as well. But we welcome interns. We are happy to be able to teach you ins and outs about our media ministry, as well as you teaching us as well. Kasi may natututo rin naman kaming bago from you. Ayan. Okay. Nakabalik na ba si Justin? Wala pa. No?
I think wala pa po.
Okay,
And
anyway.
Sa mga intern na mag-intern sa Jescom, take it from me guys. Madami kayong matututunan, lalo na sa mga mentors niyo like Sir Lester Mendiola. And talagang madami kayong maririnig na mga Jesuit songs na for me, nun ko lang talaga narinig. Sabi ko, ang dami rin palang magagandang kanta yung mga Jesuits, yung mga na-compose. And ang maganda pa po dito, Filipino songs po siya. So sabi ko,
support OPM.
Kung shopping po ito, ma-add to cart ko na po yung mga songs na to sa playlist ko.
It's glad to know that there are I think I mentioned this in your interview. It's glad to know that there are many Ateneans that are still listening to our music, no?
Yes.
But anyway, yung kanta natin kanina, Marge, ang title niya is Jesus ng Aking Buhay. It's a composition of Father Arnel Aquino, SJ, performed by Himig Jesuita, featuring VP Pinpin and Kuya Ray Malipot. Ayan. Si Kuya Ray, di ba kilala mo? Yun,
Opo.
Yeah. So, dahil Ignatian Month ngayon, yung mga songs that we're playing, marami siyang kinalaman sa Ignatian values, no? So, halimbawa, yung Jesus ng Aking Buhay, di ba, yung lyrics niya, it relates very closely to the Ignatian concept of God in all things. Ayan. So, di ba tinuturo yon sa Ateneo?
Yes, especially po sa theology class po namin. And actually, nung pinapakinggan ko nga po yung song, meron po talagang nag-struck sa akin na linya, yung sinabi po nila na si Jesus, ika'y naroon, tumalikod man sa'yo. And parang nung iniisip ko, oo nga, God will always be with us in all things and in all ways as well. So, I'm really grateful din through Jescom na palapit din yung relationship ko with God. And I think andito na po si Sir nawala na naman po si Sir Justin.
Nawala ulit. Anyway, that's good to know. Actually, this month, we've been featuring different Jesuit apostolates and ministries. Last week, with Chris around, we actually featured yung isang ministry, no? And now we're also going to talk to another ministry sa isang Jesuit institution naman. Na actually, malapit sa'yo to. Because they serve in the campus ministry office of the Loyola Schools.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so we have this evening, Marge, one of the campus ministers of the Loyola Schools. Ang pangalan niya ay si...
So let me introduce you all our guest speaker for today, Sir Marckie San Juan from the Campus Ministry Office of the Loyola Schools of Ateneo de Manila University. So, kumusta naman po kayo, Sir Marckie?
Good evening. It's so nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Good evening po.
Evening.
Baka masyado ma-pressure si Marckie. Speaker yung tawag mo sa
Guest speaker nga eh.
Ay, don't worry po. This will be a very casual kwentuhan po. And alam niyo po, just be yourself po during this conversation po. And huwag niyo po isipin na speaker po kayo. Although madaming nakikinig din sa atin po sa Radyo Katipunan. But, I just want this to be a casual conversation with you, with Sir Les. And pag bumalik din po si Sir Justin dito sa Radyo Katipunan.
Okay. Alright. So simulan na natin, Marge, yung pagtatanong natin kay
Okay.
Marckie, no? So, siguro simulan ko lang, I'm interested because I'm not an Atenean. I work inside the Ateneo but I'm not from the Ateneo. So, taga-UST kasi ako eh. Sa amin, meron kaming campus ministry din. Pero the setting might be a bit different with the campus ministry office of Ateneo, no? Particularly the Loyola schools. So I want to understand ano ba yung main function ng campus ministry office?
So, siguro sir, parang I think the structure of campus ministry is parang very informal in a way, I suppose. Na parang they give services and then alam mo yun, parang kung sino yung gusto sumama, pwedeng sumama, parang ganyan. So basically, we service the whole Loyola Schools community from students, professionals, faculty, staff, everybody, administration. And all the basically all the ministerial functions we are giving those types of services. So from the religious ones, masses and retreats and recollections, ganyan. And also to spiritual direction, pwedeng formal spiritual direction, but also could be ICs, like individual conversations. So in a way, parang may guidance office function. But of course, we're not professional psychologists. But then may ganung opportunities then. And then we have other programs like for spiritual exercises, ganyan. So yung spiritual exercises ni San Ignacio adapted to a professional's life. So parang mahaba siya na every week you meet for a certain amount of time, ganyan. So mga ganun. So we serve everybody. And I think these days, especially with K-12 and the integration of the core curriculum in the Loyola schools in Ateneo, parang meron silang tinatawag na integrated Ateneo formation. And so therefore, our office is parang not just giving services and then parang waiting for some sort of audience to come up. Pero we're integrated into the program. So yung recollections namin, may recollection every year. So there is a campus minister for every year level. And then yung integration din will work. So we are closely partnered with our partner offices in student formation. So yung social concern involvement, guidance, placement, so on and so forth. And then iba-iba yun per year. So iba-iba rin yung theme. So may themes on kami, compassion. Sa second year kasi ako sa compassion. And then there are themes on the prodigal son, so on. Get it?
Actually, naalala ko nga po yung mga sinabi po ni Sir Marckie. I remember a time nga po, nung tinatanong niyo kung na-meet ko na po si Sir Marckie. Actually, naalala ko po, one time recollection, na-meet ko po siya. Pero medyo, hindi ko po siya namukaan agad kasi parang maikli pa po yung buhok niya nung time na yun. So, ayun, it's good to know na yun pala yung mga ginagawa niyo sa campus ministry. But sir, I may ask po, what has led you to this calling and being a campus minister in the Loyola schools?
So calling, guys, word.
Calling.
So, no, kasi I was really not, parang siguro 5 years ago, I was in an ad agency. I was working in Makati. I was writing, radio spots. I was writing 30-second radio spots. I was writing for TV commercials, to advertise for things. And then parang it was really not a good job for me. Parang hindi ako para dun, And then I thought I would give myself the chance to discern more seriously about my vocation to the society. Parang ganun. Parang may inisip akong baka may vocation ako to the society, to the priesthood, to the Jesuits, ganyan. And then pero at that time, I was parang sobrang duwag pa ako nun eh. Ayoko muna pumasok talaga. Ayoko muna nung ganong serious stuff. Gusto ko yung parang Jesuit adjacent, yung sabi ko. And then, one thing led to another, parang I brought it up with a friend of mine. And then, parang may opening daw sa campus ministry in Ateneo. And then, kasi nagturo na rin ako ng CLE in high school for 3 years after I graduated. Pero wala pang campus ministry dun sa school na yun eh. So parang I was kind of curious also kung ano ba yung function, how retreats are made and stuff like that. And then, so parang sabi ko, I will go to campus ministry and then parang sabi ko mag-aaral muna ako before I do serious discernment. Ganun. Pero basically, nagsabay-sabay na siya. So while in campus ministry, I also discerned and then parang yun natanggap. That was 3 years ago. And then, so I'm still here. And ayun na, I liked it here. And then yung transition also was also very helpful going into the pandemic. Parang ganyan. So yun, parang in a way incidental siya na I was more looking towards may Jesuit vocation. Ano ba yun? And then I ended
Hindi
up...
pa raw huli eh.
Hindi pa mahuli. Hindi na ako natanggap, sir. Yun yung sagot eh.
I guess my next question is, so you've been in the campus ministry office for 3 years, right?
4 years na, sir.
4 years. Yeah. Okay. So, I am pretty sure there's a very parang specific distinction between how you're doing campus ministry during the pre-pandemic days to now. How is it different? And then, ang dami nyo palang, sakop. Akala ko baka students lang. Ano pala, pati yung faculty pala and non-teaching staff, you also cater to their spiritual needs.
Yes. So, so yung in terms of programs, parang yes, we have recollections for staff, recollections for administration, and then there are prayer groups with them also, parang ganun. Pero in terms of transition, sir, I think especially nung March 2020, parang really the big question was medyo existential yung tanong eh. Parang pwede ba mag-recollection? Pwede ba yung religious activities online? And of course, the knee-jerk answer was no. Kasi, I mean, our ideas of, I'm sure, Sir Les, parang sobrang babad ka na with the society and their ministries. Parang yung idea namin of retreats are very controlled, very quiet, ganun, Sacred Heart and Mirador and all of these places. And parang we couldn't have imagined na pwede. So I think at the time, really very difficult. Pero parang the university at the time, parang there was a 1 week, ano tawag din? Parang nagpe-prepare yung university, some sort of emergency situation. All of us were still going to work, pero skeletal. And then, parang my boss told me na, let's record masses for LS, for the Loyola schools at the time. Mm-hmm. And then we'll post it. So may Facebook na kami, matagal na yung Facebook, but it's not really, I mean, it's just there. And parang I was the one, parang that's my work now also. Parang I was the one trying to kind of breathe life into it and then kind of maintain the online presence of that Facebook. So parang sige, post it. And then at the time, wala pa yung jescom masses.
I remember that.
Yeah, wala pa yung masses. So parang our chaplain at the time, Father JR, parang sobrang game naman niya to parang do that with us. So parang for that week, sige, parang sobrang madali and everything was so quick. I'm sure you're also familiar with parang how the pace was at that time. And then I think in the middle, siguro day 2 or 3 nung emergency week, parang nag-declare na na Luzon was locked down or something. And then so parang even more parang namadali na yung questions on like pwede ba and all of that. So may ganun. And then I think we also had a show. We were with Nikki at the time. Parang we were doing the campus ministers on air. So I also hosted CM on air for a while. And then parang we did an episode parang sobrang just parang to put something out there about what's going on. And then yung masses, parang lumaki yung masses. I think, I'm not sure, pero I think we were the first Filipino Jesuit mass presence, I think at the time. And then, so people who were looking for a Jesuit mass, parang they ended up with us. Our masses was supposed to be for LS only. Pero syempre, internet and, all of that. So, parang I think nagkaroon kami ng ganung experience. Sobrang lumaki yung audience. And we were featured by the CBCP. Parang they listed us with, looking for online mass. Ganun. And then Bishop Ambo din, parang listed, And so sobrang lumaki yung audience namin. And then we were doing the masses. And then hindi pa rin malinaw if we're gonna continue with the recollections, if we're gonna do retreats. Anyway, so malaking usapin. And then nag-transition with jescom, of course. Sinalo ng jescom yung masses. And then yung reco, nilagay lang namin sa Google form. It was so bad. Like we just put everything there. And then parang just to be able to finish the semester. Pero parang the university shifted also. So kami rin, there was a place for us. So parang immersion became online. So kami sa second year, parang we were the recollections after the immersion. So nung nagka-online immersion, so kami nagka-online din na recollection. So of course we needed to sharpen the form. We needed to kind of be very efficient about it, Pero we followed the university, we followed the training from Father Johnny and the SALT office at the time, and then parang we used all of those to just make parang our modules.
So the university provided the tools naman, no? Pero yung parang yung framework, I'm sure there's a framework that you follow in terms of the content, the kind of reflection that you have to say, for example, if it's for the first year, for the second year, and all that, and then tailor fit it to online. It must be tough, no? I can just imagine the work of the...
Actually, niisip ko nga rin po
Ang hirap nun.
Siguro, sir, yung
Ilan kayo sa CMO?
17 kami, sir, with the chaplains.
Okay.
So we have 4 chaplains, one of which Father Monching is full-time. Pero parang going back to your about parang mahirap to really think about it. Parang, yes, may framework kami and, everything that we're doing. Pero parang naisip ko kasi na, as someone in social media, parang yung goal ko was to expand the definition of ministry. Feeling ko kasi for people, campus ministry is very narrowly defined. Parang ganun. Parang, okay, misa ka lang or ganyan. Or whatever, confession, ganyan, and interaction with priests and stuff like that. So for me, parang sa social media, I thought, okay, how do we expand that ministry? So may pagka-psych siya, na may pagka-religion, na may pagka, being where the audience is. And also, parang, I think yung na-realize ko din, sir, is parang a lot of what we do in ministry is parang the control of, let's say, a retreat house. Parang everything, kasi ang priority namin in a retreat is the disposition of the retreatant, di ba? And sana it's not just that it's quiet, but we are bringing them to a prayerful disposition. And ang daming components nun, actually. So the music has to be a certain way, the playlist has to be a certain, the way that we say things has to be a certain way. Parang ganun. And parang I think that's parang control yung main ingredient nun. And I think nung nag-shift to online, nawalan kami ng control talaga about anything. And our big issue was we could not assure na the students, for example, we could not assure that they are praying or that they are doing, the quieting exercise. Pero I think after a while, parang really wala na kami magawa eh. So I think, okay, we give them the time, we offer our activities, and then we meet them na lang. If they engage, great. If not, then okay, sorry. Then next activity. But I think in our experience, parang we also did itong pandemic invention. We did briefing spaces. It's a 1-hour Zoom conversation. And then non-religious yung context. So kumusta ka, ganyan, blessings received, gratitude, ganun. And may mga nag-sign up, and it's very helpful for them. I think also for us na ministers. So I think parang may lugar pa din yung ministry. Nag-iiba na yung itsura, of course. Pero parang I think malinaw sa amin na may lugar. May lugar yung ministry even if it's not the same form as before. Syempre, iba yung feeling ng retreat, iba yung feeling just being there and all of those things. Pero may lugar yung ministry in the university's life.
Alam niyo po, Sir Marckie, sa point of view rin po ng student, for me, I actually appreciate yung campus ministry rin kasi during our recollections, imagine, nasabi niyo po, 17 po kayong nasa campus ministry, pero natutuwa ako na meron pong nag-guide po sa amin, lalo na kapag may mga breakout rooms, tapos may mga guide questions kami in which we also get to reflect po. So, I feel like yung mga small conversations din po ng mga ganun with other students really helps a lot din po. And hopefully din po, makabalik na rin po lalo na babalik na rin po makabalik na rin po on-site yung mga recollections, yung mga retreats, so that, we students would be able to feel God's presence then even more and be able to reflect more than on-site. So, yan. Speaking of the members din po, since sasabi nyo nga po na 17 members po yung nandun sa campus ministry, who are the members po specifically dun sa office nyo? And follow up na lang din po, does each cater to specific needs in our life and the faith?
Thank you for that. No? So, siguro there are two main distinctions. So, yung isa would be the INAF, the Integrated Ateneo Formation. Ito yung every year na may campus minister that is assigned for every year. So may 1 or 2 campus ministers for that every year. And then our job is really to think about recollections. So integrated kami dun sa immersion component, parang ganun eh. So parang how do we offer our programs that effectively, in a way, process, but also give students parang a prayerful space to reflect on their immersion experience. So first year naman, parang since people are new, parang the theme there is being God's beloved, ganyan, gratefulness. It's really introduction, ganyan, prodigal son. So they have to craft their own recollections for that, for those audiences. And it's the third year contemplations on vocation. So you have to vocation not only in the religious life. So parang, of course, we also expanded the definition of vocation. So usually, they invite married couples, they invite single blesseds, they invite religious sisters, religious brothers, priests, and then my exposure to the students as well. And then fourth year, there's this new subject for the core curriculum called Discerning Life's Questions. And then so our office is integrated with those who are teaching that. And then iba-iba yung needs. So minsan IC, regular IC, regular individual conversation, sometimes modules, sometimes recollections as well. So may tao dun every year. And then the non-enough ones, naka-focus per sector. So may faculty, non-teaching staff, and administration, a team. And then yun, parang one-on-one yung pangangailangan minsan. Or minsan it's like a bigger talk. Ganyan. So we invite guest speakers. So, talked about guest speakers. So sometimes we invite guest speakers to talk about ganyan, Ignatius or Ignatian values. Ganyan. And then we have our liturgist, si Kuya Joey. He's been a liturgist for a while in the Loyola schools. And then siguro yun. And then of course our director. And then CM4 retreats. So I think our biggest project is the seniors retreat. Parang yun talaga yung we really put a lot of resources there, and parang it's been very grabe yung experience ng retreat. I mean, when I was a student also, Atenista din kasi ako, I'm an alumni. Parang grabe yung reputation ng seniors retreat. Parang, it's not required, pero everyone is like, I want to do it again.
It's memorable.
Yeah, memorable. And then, yung mga shock nila na parang, sir, magsusurvive ba ako? 5 days akong walang kausap. But then parang it's really a prized experience. So that's something that we really work on throughout the year. Mga ganun. So it's really sector-focused. And then parang we are grateful that we have this integrated Ateneo formation team. But also parang there are really people thinking about activities for the different sectors in LS.
Actually, alam niyo po, Sir Marckie, yung mga na-mention yung pong mga topics na diniscuss po ng campus ministry office sa mga students, like yung mga prodigal son, yung about vocation. Actually, pag inisip ko, parang napagdaanan ko na rin tong mga to, lalo na senior na rin po ako. Pero nung sinabi niyo po yung about the senior retreat, sabi ko, naku, parang aabangan ko to this school year.
Sana,
yes, please,
sana makabalik na. Meron na ba?
Yes, actually, yes.
Wow.
Nung online, we did online, and then actually this year, we had our first 2 batches again. So we had 2 groups, and then we did it sa Senakel for 3 days. So, okay naman, of course, the numbers could have been better, pero the experience still the same. Very good experience for our retreatants.
So, Sir Marckie, kapag mga ganyang recollection and retreat, can you tell us more about how the campus ministry office caters to the spiritual needs of the whole Atenean community? Hindi lang po yung mga students, pero pati rin po yung mga faculty, yung sinabi niyo rin po kanina.
I just want to I just want to piggyback on that question as well. You mentioned yung mga IC, no? IC stands for individual consultation. Tama ba?
Conversation, yes, sir.
Conversation, yeah. Ano yun? Do they need yung mga sector that you're assigned to? Do they need to sign up for parang appointment? Medyo mahirap yun kasi, di ba, yung sa parang you're accompanying spiritual accompaniment, parang ganun siya eh, di ba? You can only talk to a certain number of people per day. So, how do you guys manage that?
Actually, sir, parang hindi madami yung nagpapa-IC.
Talaga?
I mean,
Okay.
so sana, I mean, I would love to have that problem na parang kulang kami ng time to accommodate. But parang yung pagiging set na, okay, I'm second year, I think it helps if the students, kunyari, just email us and then say, hi, I want someone to talk to. Ganun. And then parang usually these students are led to us kasi kami yung second year and then first year or faculty or whatever. But then kung may kakilala ka na, ganun, may personal relationship with one of the campus ministers, parang very porous din naman, sir, yung parang assignments namin. So for example, I taught CLE for 3 years to high schoolers. Many of them are already here in Ateneo, college students. So some of them still talk to me about, and then hindi rin naman confined to religious, I think that's the big misconception about our work, na parang dapat, you have to be Catholic or you have to be ganyan. But parang we really talk to anyone, and if they doubting sila or they want to be accompanied about that in particular, pwede rin ganun, or pwede rin na it's more general. I think the students, of course, have questions about career, about what they're doing or being lost, ganyan. I think those are persistent themes. Parang we meet a lot of students that are like that. And then sabi nga ni Marge, parang we also do that to faculty. So may retreats then for faculty, and for regularly may subsidies yan from the school. So parang those are offered, and then ICs are offered from everyone, from staff, from admin, parang ganun. So they also have those opportunities to engage with us as well.
The daily masses in the chapel are back, right?
Noon masses, yes sir, Monday to
noon
Friday.
Masses. Yeah. Nagsisimba ko dyan paminsan eh. Justin is back. I can see him on screen. Just, do you have any question? Is your audio back? Not yet.
Hindi daw.
Hindi ako po, Sir Marckie.
Hindi pa.
Go Marge, go ahead.
Go, Marge.
Hindi pa gumagana yung mic ni Sir Justin. With regards to like yung campus ministry, paano po ba siya nabuo in the first place? Like sa Ateneo? Like matagal na po ba siya sa Ateneo? Like nung binuo po ba yung Ateneo, nandiyan na po ba yung campus ministry? Paano po siya nag-start?
I don't know specifically, but parang we are one of the most indispensable offices because we are a Jesuit school. So parang feeling ko, parang kung wala kami, I think yun yung kasi we are giving those types of services. So I presume from the very beginning we're there. And I think yun nga, before parang it's a very service-oriented thing na, we really have to put ourselves out there. Parang may ganong need, I think especially very early on, I suppose. Pero ngayon, parang really part of our mission na rin is to be integrated so that nakakarating kami sa inyo. Even before you knew na, I was engaged pala in a campus ministry thing. And even in social media, parang I'm trying to, put ourselves out there, and then not really, to debase parang the way that it's supposed to be, the things that we're posting, but to be helpful, and also na parang maraming factors. I think the biggest factor that we're trying to go against is really this parang conception na we are just this religious office, and then if you're not like that, wala na, no? But I mean, we have all been like that too. Kami rin na ministers, I mean, we've all been where the students are for the most part. And then parang ganun. So I think parang ministry has always been there. I think, and for Jesuits na their main charism or their work would be education and in schools. I think ministry has always been a part of that. So parang in a way, we have been continuing that tradition.
Nakakatuwa naman po sir na tinutuloy niyo pa rin yung tradition ng campus ministry. But ngayon po, like considering na matagal-tagal na rin po kayo sa campus ministry, what would you say is the most fulfilling part about being of service to the community as a whole, especially in the context of the work that you do?
I suppose fulfilling yung really engaging with our communities and really bringing them into. So of course the traditional markers are there. I think they go on retreat and then they come out of retreat really, being very thankful about the experience and then thanking us about what went on. Ganun. So may ganun. Pero for me, I think especially in the pandemic, just seeing people and talking to them and parang yung response is something like, I've needed this kind of space. And then I think senior ka na, so I think you've had an experience of the campus, as a student. Pero for me, since we're in second year, and then the 2 batches or 3 batches ba na are coming in, and then they are very parang immersed into online. So wala silang konsepto ng Ateneo. So para sa akin, nakakalungkot siya, of course. Pero parang just meeting them and parang nag-uusap kami with partner offices and they have so parang kakatapos lang namin parang itong time na to, June, July, this is the time of evaluation and planning yan . So dami naming meeting with our partner office. And then sometimes we are thinking about our concerns. And naisip namin baka yung concern nila it's something more fundamental na hindi nila alam. Wala silang conception of what Ateneo is or what Ateneo is capable of. And I think for us, as a student or si Sir Lester din, parang as someone who's been working with the Jesuits, parang I think it's very simple for us na, okay, we want to do this, therefore we talk to this chain of people, and then maybe something can happen. Parang talk to this org, we talk to this group, we talk to this thing, sunod-sunod na yun. And one of the things that I notice is just, they don't know that we are capable of that. Hindi nila alam yun . Kasi they don't understand that may ganong org na in Ateneo, or like there's this new initiative, let's say from Gender Hub, ganyan. There are these parang advancements of this particular issue, and then they don't need to do something on their own. They can just do that. So in a way that parang introducing them to Ateneo, parang there's this really sobrang depressing if you want to think about it. Parang 3 batches need to go to ORSEM. Kasi they don't know the campus, they don't know, all these things. So, and then another thing is just parang in Zoom breakout rooms, just for them to realize na the students who are there also experience the same thing that they're going through. And then yung mga insecurities or all of these things that they're going through interiorly, it's the same. So I'm sure ikaw as a student, parang may groups ka na like from orgs to Sango or whatever. Pero itong mga bago wala. And I think just to be able to give them that space na okay, meron kaming framework, we want them to pray about a certain thing. Pero usually it's just this nagiging safe space na lang yung pangangailangan. And I think that the fact that we really meet them there and we are able to craft activities that engage with those needs that are very real, but also, parang it's in a way countercultural. I don't think people really, tara, 1 hour tayo na, this kind. Hindi. So I think that we do those things, it's really a fulfilling part of the ministry.
Mm-hmm. I think one point that really struck me about what you said, Marckie, is yung conversations, even if they're not religious in nature, parang it becomes a safe space. Sabi nga nila parang God meets us where we are, di ba? So, sometimes you don't realize it, but it's important that we get reminded from time to time that kung nasaan man tayo, that is where God will meet us. Siguro yung next question ko, I'm curious lang, kasi you guys are human beings and persons as well, di ba? How does your spiritual need get nourished pre-pandemic and now that you've shifted to during the pandemic? Paano yun? Kasi diba, ang hirap magbigay kung wala kang ibibigay, diba? You need to be full as well. Para meron kang, you can't give what you don't have. So, how do you get that nourishment?
So siguro, sir, the core of what we're doing in ministry is accompaniment. So pakikisabay dun sa mga tao where they are. As you said, parang God meeting us where they are. So since we are accompanying others, therefore the only way that we can do that well is for us to be accompanied then. So the fact that we are in ministry, then we have partners who are, doing this ministry also, like your office at JMM or CIS. And then we let ourselves be accompanied. So we also go on retreats. We also have our own ICs. We also go on RDL, retreat in daily life. We also have these activities for our own. And then walang training. I don't think it functions like a class or a seminar na may training, and therefore you do this. Parang we just let ourselves be accompanied, and then we accompany others. So nung online, it was really hard. I think my favorite story about our pandemic attempts is twice kami nag-schedule to go on-site retreat, nakabubble and everything, everything taken care of. And then the day that we were supposed to leave for retreat were the 2 days na the president declared ECQ. So canceled, immediately canceled. And then so walang dinatuloy. So pero we needed to go on retreat. We asked someone to direct us in prayer. So may retreat. I think tuloy-tuloy yung retreat, tuloy-tuloy yung spiritual direction for us. And then some of us are going to counseling too. So parang ganun lang din. And then kaming co-workers, kaming colleagues, we really accompany each other in work personally. The campus ministry team is one of the safest spaces on campus for me, and safest in a way na really parang really taking care of parang can be vulnerable with many of the people there, and parang even in they turn off their pagiging campus minister, parang really yung connection between each of us parang very safe yung nagiging karanasan namin.
So the CMO parang is also like a community for you guys.
Yes.
That's good to know. Okay. Marge, do you have any additional questions for Marckie?
Actually, since nasabi ni Sir Marckie na may mga na-cancel daw silang mga recollection and retreat on-site, for this coming school year po ba, may mga plans po ba kayo na damihan na rin po siguro on-site, like not just for seniors but as well as for other batches din po, para alam niyo yun, mas ma-feel po nila yung campus ministry on-site as well?
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully we could offer those retreats. But also parang we can make a retreat by request. So if you're part of an org and then you need a retreat for your org, so parang one-off yung retreat, and then okay, it's a certain theme, ganun. Then we do that. We can do that. Parang ganun. And even parang may experience pre-pandemic, our volleyball team is very close with our office. So they really ask for a retreat. Naka-schedule na yun. They really ask for a retreat every year. We really have to make them something parang bespoke in a way. So ganun. And so for orgs, or maybe even for, let's say, Sanggu, ganyan, if they want a retreat, parang we can do that. Or if you have just a group of people they want to give retreats to, if you want to just you want them to experience a retreat, parang pwede, we can make arrangements for that. But hopefully, yes, we could give more retreats to more people. In a way, yun naman yung nagiging problema namin lagi. The attendance. Parang if people attend, they usually say good things about us, but then parang ang laki ng community, and there are so many people that we have not reached out yet. So parang ganun eh. And hopefully, parang if we get to engage with them, sana it's a good experience for both of us.
Yes, actually, sige, Sir Marckie, dahil sinabi niyo yan, aabangan ko talaga yan next
Sure.
week.
Senior retreat, go ahead.
But, and for kayo, Sir Marckie, since ngayon nga po, campus minister din po kayo, ano po masasabi niyo rin po, or like parang advice sa mga interested din po na maging campus minister, like let's say sa Ateneo or sa ibang schools as well?
Please join us. Please join us. Pero I think this is really a ministry of accompaniment, a ministry of caring, a ministry of this is what this ministry is. And I think for me personally, parang na-bring up ni Sir Les kanina. Para sa akin, actually, it's just when I met the Jesuits, they made me experience this God of, God in all things, ganyan, this God of safety, and then this love of God, parang in a very personal, intimate way. And yung mission ko bilang tao and bilang campus minister is basically just to make other people feel that. And para ipasa ko din yun sa iba, and to live or to do things in such a way that that other people could do that as well. And so if that's you're called to do this kind of work, then go ahead and please join us. We need people. Konti nga lang daw yung laborers in the vineyard of the Lord, sabi nga ng Bible. But yeah, and
nawala si Marckie.
Nawala yun.
Tayo
Nawala si Sir Marckie.
Anyway, let's wait for him to dial
I think
dial
he's back.
He's back. Marckie,
Yes.
are you on?
hello. Ayan, nawala
Ay,
talaga.
naputol
Okay.
ka.
Yeah, so I'm basically just
You were saying yung mga gustong maging campus minister.
Yeah, so if you're called to that kind of ministry, or that ministry of accompaniment and care, then please join us or join your own communities, ministries, ministerial needs, kasi kailangan siya, especially now.
Yes, actually hindi lang sa campus setting, maraming paraan para maglingkod. Sa parokya, pwede kayong mag-join. Sa parokya namin merong spiritual accompaniment. Tapos maraming spiritual accompaniment ministries that you can join in the parishes in different settings. Kung gusto niyo youth, i-guide, couples, iba-iba. So just reach out to your parish or to your community. Meron ka bang announcements, Marckie, for any activities coming? Do you have any activities for July, the Ignatian month?
So thank you. Basically, my big announcement is for please engage with our Facebook. So we are trying to really put ourselves out there on Facebook, facebook.com/ls.ocm. So Ateneo LS Office of Campus Ministry. And if you want to engage with us personally, especially if you're a student or you're part of the community, so just email us also. So campusministry.ls@ateneo.edu. So send ko na sa chat. I'm not sure if they can send that somewhere. Yeah. And then for the end of the Ignatian year, this July, we organized an activity called Finding Hope in All Things. I mean, this is of course in response to the elections and our new government, and especially parang the context of everyone. Parang sabi ni San Ignacio, we can find God in all things, and therefore I thought, well, ang pag-asa therefore can be found in all things too. And so tinapon ko yung tanong na yun sa sa mga teachers natin, sa mga estudyantes, mga administrators. And we solicit reflections and we post them every day. So we've started in July 4. So we are going ongoing until the 30th. And then so please watch out for that. And then yung masses also, our masses, daily mass, noon mass in the college chapel, tuloy-tuloy na yun, Monday to Friday. Our morning masses are online, courtesy of Jesuit Communications. And please stand by for our activities. So we are thinking of many activities, of course, throughout the year. Please engage with us. Yeah, salamat.
Right. So maraming salamat, Marckie, for joining us this evening. Please say hi to our friends in the campus ministry office, sina Miss Rina, sina Sir Joey. Ayan. Kamusta po sa inyong lahat? And if you are an Atenean and looking for activities or looking for someone to talk to, you can reach out to the campus ministry office of the Loyola schools. Tapos, if you're not from the Loyola schools, sa ibang, like sa basic ed, meron ding mga campus ministries, di ba?
Yes.
So they can reach out to the campus ministry office of your institution if you need someone to talk to.
Take it from me, sa ating mga listeners, alam nyo, pag also have time to, schedule then with the campus ministry, because especially yung mga third year, second year, tsaka first year na hindi pa nakakatapak sa campus ng Ateneo. Actually,
Oo nga.
ang campus ministry talaga ang nagiging bridge din sa Jesuit life ng I mean like somehow introduction din sa Ateneo as a Jesuit institution. So it's also good to, somehow get to know Ateneo as a Jesuit institution through the campus ministry office as well. And yes, thank you so much, Sir Marckie, for being with us here today sa Radyo Katipunan. And we really enjoyed this conversation with you po talaga.
Maraming salamat. Sobrang bilis ng 1 hour. It just passed
Oo nga,
by.
1 hour na.
Oo nga po, 1 hour na
Tayo.
po pala eh.
We have a couple of announcements. Coming up next is Raw and Candid. If you want to learn more about history, about the Jesuits, we're featuring it on Radyo Katipunan. So abangan po ninyo yan. Coming at 8:00 p.m. And then please don't forget to follow us on our social media accounts. We are on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and follow din po ninyo ang aming Spotify account. That's jescom.ph. Ayan. And coming this Friday is a song performed by Himig Jesuita. That's I Am Ever With You. Of course, performed by none other than Father Junjun Bores, SJ, and Himig Jesuita. Premiering, ito po yung live version. Abangan po ninyo sa lahat ng digital music platforms. Ayan. And we'd like to thank Marge for co-hosting with us tonight. Justin had a technical issue, so he wasn't able to come back anymore. But next week po, abangan po ninyo ang aming pong guest dahil Ignatian Month pa rin will be the Jesuits in Bukidnon. Ayan, abangan po ninyo ang the ministry of the Jesuits sa Bukidnon. And on behalf of our producers na sina Judith, Chris, Adam, and Princess, ako po si Lester Mendiola mula sa Jesuit Music Ministry. Marge?
And I am Marjorie Mandiat, interning in JESCOM. And thank you so much for tuning in here in Radyo Katipunan. And actually, si Sir Justin hindi na po makakapagsalita. But yes, thank you also Sir Justin for being here as well with us kahit online lang po. But yes, thank you so much for tuning in and see you on our next episode.
We'll leave you with a song. Ito ang Juan na Kagurangnan, performed by Floyd Dena, composed by Jethro Kalagtay, mula sa aming album All Things Anew, Songs for the Ignatian Year. Good night, everyone!
Good night, everyone! Have a great night.
Pagkasabot ko, kabutan ko, hankapos na ako, asin mga rugaring ko, guminikan gabos sa saimo. Inikapos mo niya oras mo sa sako, sa buhay ko kapanuan na. Ang kapos na ako, asin mga rugaring ko, guminikan gapos sa saimo. Inikapos mo niyan sa kuyang inaatanganing paghadean mo. Pagkamotasin balaog mo, iwaras mo sa sako, sa buhay ko kapanuan na. Daing ibang
Rejoice, refresh, renew, and reflect. Join us for an hour of music that uplifts the soul. Listen to your favorite Jesuit music ministry artists. This is JMM Radio. JMM Radio. Get your day's dose of inspirational music. Tune in to JMM Radio every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.